Good evening, Bill.
Good evening. This is different. Although Ken finally showed
Hold
up.
on a second. I got to turn it up here so I can hear you.
Still your disaster center whatever else. Well, my needs to know the shoulders. How's it going? Good. Good to see you.
Okay, now I can hear you.
Okay. I thought I was going to be all by myself, and then Ken showed up.
Hello, Bill and Mark.
Hey, how you doing, Ken?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll get you.
Man,
Get you taken care
there's only 3 of us on here. I got big pictures on my screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just part of the big picture.
Mark, what have you been doing?
Oh, I've been all kinds of business projects and home projects and stuff I've been working on. I haven't even been on FT8 in a week.
Well, Mike's been on doing a little bit. HXT.
I heard from Mike earlier that he said that FT8 20 meter and 17 meter was terrible this week. And I said, I wonder why. I mean, there's nothing out there to interfere with it. No storms, no, anything, but.
My 20-meter node that I'm watching, it's picking up a ton of stuff.
But I haven't turned it on to look, so I don't know what he didn't see.
Yeah. I've been doing projects too, and I've been running my beacon. Got that up and running pretty good. There was a blip in it on the newsletter. I don't know if you read it or not. Did you read the newsletter?
Yeah, I did.
I made 6 or 8 FT8 contacts this week.
Did you? On what band, Bill?
Well, there's Sam. Hey, guys.
17
Sam.
meters.
What'd you say, Bill?
17 meters.
17. That's a good band. What kind of antenna you use on 17?
Well, I've got that Cushcraft MA5B mini beam.
Oh, yeah.
It's really just a rotatable dipole on 17.
Yeah. But rotatable dipole works, guarantee you.
Yeah. It's done me well.
How high up in the air do you have it?
It could be a lot higher. It's only about 20, 24 or 5 feet.
Not too bad, though.
Nah, I'd like to be higher, but I didn't want to rattle the neighbors.
Yeah. Sam, what have you been up to?
Well, had the grandkids here for a week.
Yeah, you said you
Wow.
you said you was being warned that they was coming.
Oh my gosh. you know, when they get here, then our kids, they take a vacation. They let grandpa and grandma take care of the kids. So,
Oh, yeah.
you know, they get a little rest, but those
Yeah.
kids, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I got my granddaughter down here and got my radio going and got on 20 meters and found some people talking, but she was too shy to talk.
Yeah.
Well, they can't see you, but she enjoyed listening. She thought that was pretty cool.
How old is she?
7.
Yeah.
I was gonna let her chat a little bit, but she was a little self-conscious there.
Yeah,
So,
they're kind of shy at that age.
well, you know, she's funny. She idolizes the wolf. She wants to be the wolf, but she's scared of everything. You know, but if you
Yeah.
ask her, she's a wolf. You know, but anyway. And then the grandson's 3, so, and he is in on everything. I mean,
Oh,
he
yeah.
is everywhere. He never stops moving.
You can't keep up with them when they're 3.
No, I tell you, when they finally left after a week, my wife and I they pulled out of the driveway like at noon, and we were taking naps by 1 o'clock. We were done.
Collapsed.
Yeah.
That's what would happen to me.
Yeah.
I don't think I could handle it. Little kids, family reunion get-togethers is enough for me.
Well, the other thing is they're from North Carolina, and they get up at 7 there, which meant they were waking up at 6.
Yeah.
So we were getting up, 6. We'd hear them rummaging around, and we'd get up, and then, of course, after they went to bed, we'd stay up with our son and have a beer, and so we were going from like 6 to midnight every night. It was just
Lots of hours.
yeah. Anyway, so then later than that, we just got back from Sulphur. We went down camped for a couple nights
Oh, you did?
down at Chickasaw National Wildlife Refuge or whatever it is down there.
At the lake?
Yep. Yeah, we had a site with actually right on the lake where we could walk down out of the back of ours and right down to the water.
So you took your travel trailer?
Yep.
So your pickup pulled it okay, huh?
Yeah, it really kicked the gas mileage more than I'd hoped.
Oh, yeah.
But,
I'm sure it would.
I mean, I run around town here in that thing, going easy, but I get 20, 22, and it dropped it to about 10.
Well, yeah.
It really hurt it. And it's not that big a trailer.
When I pull my fifth wheel, I got a 3/4 ton Chevrolet with a 6-liter engine in it and a 27-foot fifth wheel. And I get about 10 miles to the gallon when I'm pulling that thing. And, a long time ago, you could go to Yellowstone on vacation and gas was reasonable. It costs you a fortune to do that now,
Yeah.
pulling that fifth wheel at 10 miles to the gallon.
Well, my Avalanche actually got better mileage than this F-150, but I'll tell you what, the F-150, I don't even know it's back there, except I feel that extra bump when I go over a bump. I have 3 bumps instead of 2. But as far as if I shove the pedal to the metal, it jumps up just like it does when it doesn't even know it's back there. But it really did hurt the mileage, and we'll see. It's that's one reason we did this. It was hot.
Yeah.
And the flies, oh my gosh, the flies were bad.
Really?
But yeah.
Down at the lake?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was really annoying trying to eat dinner. And
I know you was doing this for a test, but like I told you the other day, you go camping in the fall after school starts.
Well, we have this campsite down there that we really like, and it's right on the lake. You walk right down, walk right into the lake, and we've camped there several times. And my wife looked at the scheduling, and this was the first. This week it was kind of open, and then of course next week's Labor Day weekend starts, and it's booked for our favorite campsite's booked for like the next 3 months.
Yeah.
So we decided we better do it.
Yeah.
Sam, is that Arbuckle Lake or Veterans Lake?
No, this is Arbuckle. It's on Arbuckle.
But Veterans Lake is right there next to it.
Yeah, right around the corner, kind of.
But I just mentioned that, I think it was this morning, that we need to go down at Arbuckle Lake this fall and go fishing and camping.
And I'm gonna have to go get my phone.
Okay,
Show you a picture I took on one of our hikes. I left my phone upstairs. I'll be back.
okay. Is it decent? He didn't hear me.
Probably somebody wanting to check his automobile his warranty.
Arbuckle Lake is a pretty nice place to go for distance wise from here. It's not too bad of a drive.
Yeah. The last time I was down there, they didn't really have any campsites close to the lake. A lot of that's happened more recently, I think.
Yeah.
We used to have some bass tournaments there.
Yeah. I just can't hardly go camping in the heat of the summer. I'd
Yeah.
rather go in the fall.
Well, there's going to be a low turnout, it looks like, tonight.
Yeah. Well, they might show up. I'd kind of like to go down to the fire station, but I can't see to drive after dark.
I don't like to.
Yeah. I've got some cataracts. I can see okay in the daytime, but at nighttime, man, them car lights blind me.
Yeah. I've had both lenses replaced,
Have you?
but the car headlights cause more trouble now than they ever did. So,
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, this picture you was gonna show us, Sam, is it decent?
Well, it's naked, but let's see if I can figure out how to get it up here. I don't think you'll be able to see it.
Well, if your background is keeping us from seeing it, your false background.
Yeah, let me I just sent it over to OneDrive. Let me see if I can come up with it here and you make it into my background.
Yeah, that'd work. That would probably be the best bet.
Let's see, where is OneDrive?
So who's that Mark is talking to, Bill? Can you tell?
no. Well, Jeff Wyke is there. I think that's Jeff in the middle of the picture.
Mhm. Sitting down?
No, standing up.
Well, that's Mark standing up.
Well, they're to Mark's right. Maybe we're not seeing the same thing.
Maybe not.
My
The
picture's
picture I'm
frozen.
seeing, Mark is right in the middle.
My picture's frozen.
Yeah, I see Mark. I can't tell who that is in front of him there. Mark, who is that?
I think it's Jeff White, KJ7EFF.
Maybe so. I don't know. I don't know if I know him or not. They don't look like they have a very big crowd.
We're working on a couple of radios here. The volume control and squelch control seems to not be working real good, so we're going to open them up and clean them.
Okay, you got,
And that's what we're doing. They're 2 meter rigs and
yeah.
trying to make it work.
Well, that'll make them happy, I bet you. Not very many people there, Mark. He must be muted now.
Okay.
Okay, I see a fawn back there.
Yeah.
Is that what you got?
Yep. So we were, I turned my camera off so you can just see the,
Yeah.
yeah, we were on
on your iPhone or on your cell phone.
yeah, I didn't carry my 30 35 millimeter, I still call it, digital camera
Yeah.
on this hike. And we're just hiking along, and there were these two little fawns.
Yeah.
And the other one was kind of shy. It kept staying way back in the brush, but this
Yeah.
one froze right there and looked right at me and gave me a beautiful shot with my iPhone.
Man, that's
And
something you just don't get every day.
yeah, I mean, I don't think I've ever, and was trying to figure out where Mama is. She wasn't
Yeah.
anywhere to be seen, but when they ran off, the direction they ran, I'm sure that's where she was.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was. I wish I could get the whole thing in there. It just doesn't want to all fit. But
Yeah, that's okay. I can
it
tell.
was an incredible picture. I mean, I've packed my big camera with a long lens miles and miles and not got a shot as good as that one.
I know what you mean.
That fawn was maybe 30 feet from me
Yeah.
when I shot that.
And you didn't have a telephoto lens, or?
Well, iPhone zooms some, and I zoomed it a little bit, but I've got one of these fancy ones. It's got 3 lenses actually, but
Yeah.
But anyway, it was just really, it made the whole trip worthwhile.
Yeah,
just
that's a
to
nice
see
shot.
those two, and it was. But well, I thought about you. You're talking about always going to Yellowstone and going
Yeah.
around doing wildlife photography and
Yeah,
stuff.
that's what we did. I've had a
Yeah.
lot of stuff published in Outdoor Oklahoma years ago, even front cover shot on two-page spread in the middle of Outdoor Oklahoma, and back cover shots, inside back cover shots. I've had a lot of published in Outdoor Oklahoma and some other magazines. Birders World. I did an article on. I photographed bluebirds inside the bluebird box, and I sold that. Outdoor Oklahoma published the article, had article with pictures, and Birders World, which is a national magazine, published it, and they paid me $800.
Wow.
Outdoor Oklahoma, state magazines don't pay very much. They paid $400 for it, but they paid $300 for a front cover shot. Outdoor Oklahoma does. That's been years ago.
All my commercial stuff was sports. I used to shoot sports for the Louisville Courier Journal and
Mhm.
local papers where I lived in
Yeah.
Kentucky. And
If you shot sports, then that means you had to have some pretty fast lenses too.
and I used to do a lot of push processing,
Yeah.
black and white,
Oh yeah. I've done that before.
push 400 speed up to 3,200 and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Well, it was fun when you did black and white. After I was in it for a few years, I decided to do color. And man, that stuff is just too much work. You mix up your chemicals and you got to use them right then because they won't keep. So, but anyway, magazine editors only take slide film.
Mhm.
I mean, they're very digital now, but
Right.
back then they would only take slide film, and it had to
Yep.
be 100 ASA or faster. So that means that I could only use Fuji 100, Fuji 50, Kodachrome 64, Kodachrome 25, but it's too slow for wildlife photography. But Kodachrome 100 was good.
Yeah, I used to. I mean, I actually still do have a dark room here. I just haven't had time to use it in
Yeah.
years. Too many hobbies, and
Yeah.
I'm not even sure who makes chemicals anymore.
Kodak probably still makes it. Fuji makes it, but we went to Jamaica one year. I had a Mamiya 645. It's a medium format camera, and I shot some Panatomic X at 100 ASA, black and
Right.
white, and I pushed that to about 400. Some shots we took in a bar. It was called the Almond Tree Restaurant. And man, that stuff was grain free even after I pushed it. But Mamiya 645, you got a big negative to work with. It's 2.8 times bigger than a 35 millimeter negative. So the larger that negative,
Yep.
the less grainy it is when you.
I've got a Pentex 4x5.
Yeah, You know what I'm
645.
talking about.
And then I've
Uh,
also got an old Speed Graphic 4x5.
Yeah.
Uses sheet film.
Yeah.
And talk about nice.
Oh, yeah. It-
You know,
Shoot that a 4x5 in black and white, 100 speed film. You can blow that stuff up the size of the wall and not be grainy.
Yep. Gosh, been so long now. I've still got some packets of chemical in there. The powders.
Yeah.
Dectol and Microdol,
Hey,
but I don't know if they're. I would think as a powder they'd last, but they're 20 years old.
hey, I've got some 4x5 and 8x10 sheets of black and white paper.
I've got a bunch of paper too. I have no idea what I've got anymore. Honestly, it's been in a cabinet in there for so long.
Yeah, I had a bunch of liquid chemicals, and I ended up throwing that stuff away.
When my father-in-law passed away, I inherited his dark room, and he'd inherited his dad's dark room. So I inherited 2 dark rooms there. I've got like 4 enlargers and
Yeah.
enough trays.
Whenever I built this house, I built a 10x10 room just for the dark room. And now it's a junk room.
Yep.
Gentlemen, I'm going to leave it with you. I got some local stuff I need to do. So carry on.
All right, Bill. We'll see
Bill,
you.
take care.
We'll see you next time, Bill.
Okay.
Yeah, that photography was a good hobby.
Well, when I was 12 years old, the priest at our church got me into developing film. He would black out his dark room and
Yeah.
his bathroom, and we were shooting brownies, I guess they were back then, just roll film. We didn't have any 35 millimeters or anything fancy.
120 film.
Yeah, 120, man. He got me started doing that, and I just thought it was magic. And what's funny is we went to my mother was working on her PhD, and we went to the University of Nebraska. My grandparents lived in Lincoln, and there was this camera shop in downtown Lincoln. And I saw this camera down there. It was a Miami Secor, I think's how you say it. And it had all these buttons and dials, and it was just the coolest thing ever. And I think it was $80.
35 millimeter.
Yep. And so I mowed lawns all around my grandparents' neighborhood, and mowed my grandparents. And all summer long we were there. I mowed these lawns and saved every penny. And at the end, right before we left to go back to Kentucky, I went down to buy my camera. I had enough money to buy my camera. And I went down, and I'll never forget, there was this little old man behind the counter, and he goes, "Son," he said, you don't want that camera." And I said, "Oh, I do. 3 months, 2 months, I've been, dreaming about this camera." And he goes, "No," he says, "this is the camera you want." And he handed me a Pentax SP500. And didn't have near as many buttons and whistles and stuff, but I've still got that camera, and I have taken, I don't know how many thousands and thousands of pictures with that camera. And he sure steered me right, because I don't even know if Miami Secor is still in business, but I'm still shooting Pentexes.
Yeah.
But
Pentax made some good stuff. Had good lenses.
I've done well. Now, when I was in college, the college had Nikons.
Yeah.
And I really didn't think the Nikons were any better than my Pentexes. I used to use my camera most of the time.
Nikon is what I use. But I've had a lot of Nikons back, before they had digital cameras. I had some pretty old Nikons. I bought them new, but I had a FE2, which was really a nice mechanical camera. And I also, before digital cameras came along, I had a F4 professional camera. I still have it. It's got the high-speed motor drive, shoot 6 frames per second.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine pulling, you can shoot a roll of 36 exposure film in 6 seconds.
Yep.
And you hold a button down.
College, we had one of those and it had big canisters on both sides.
Yeah,
I don't remember how many shots, but
it was a 250 shot.
but it had
It
that
was a-
motor drive on it.
Did you know they use that in some movies? They use that Nikon with that big 250 shot 35 millimeter canister on it to shoot some movies because they could get into tight places with it.
Mm.
And then they would splice that into their 35 millimeter film. It was used in some of the James Bond movies.
I honestly used to think that was cheating though. You know, when you go to a basketball game and you can sit there with that sucker and just
Yeah.
it takes all the skill out of it. You know, I'm
Yes.
sitting there with a 36 exposure roll
Right.
trying to catch that perfect jump shot or you know whatever.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, you got to work at it.
Yeah.
Got to do everything right to get that, to stop that jump shot. And that's why I say you need fast lenses so you can have fast shutter speed.
I did a lot of we had a lot of concerts back then at the college, and I shot for the college newspaper and got to go to a lot of those. The Righteous Brothers, Sly and the Family
All right.
Stone.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was, and it was really neat is going backstage. You know, it was. I'd like to get a lot of time. I'd go into the dressing room before and after the concert. I got to ride in Sly's limo to the airport when he got done.
I guess that was all black and white too, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, yeah.
And then for a school paper, then they had a dark room so you could develop the film and make the prints and everything.
Yeah, the nice thing is back then I could use their dark room. You know, as long as I was a photographer, I could go in there and process any film I wanted to process. You know, they didn't care. So, but you know, we'd go like you know, I'd go shoot a concert and get done at midnight, and then go spend till 6 a.m. in the dark room because the editor wanted pictures the next morning on his desk. You know, but a lot of fun.
My wife and I really had fun doing wildlife photography. She got pretty good at it too. She did a lot of scenic shots and wildflowers and things like that.
Yeah, my wife likes to do flowers, and we went through a train phase. We used to go out and hunt trains. Well, first thing we do is hunt a scenic place with a train track.
Yeah.
And then we'd wait for a train, and you know, and kind of. I've got some beautiful train shots in the Rockies and up in Wyoming and stuff like that.
Well, we went to Missouri and photographed the grist mills. I've got a lot of nice grist mill shots. There must be 20 or so really nice grist mills in Missouri. And then on one of our vacations, we drove down the West Coast from Washington all the way down to Southern California, and we photographed the lighthouses. There's some really neat ones in Washington and Oregon and Northern California.
Right. I've always wanted to visit those, and I got into barns at one time and went around and took a lot of pictures of barns, you know, old and new. I mean, there's some just incredible barns out there, you know, and I've thought about one time trying to publish a book. I just decided it wouldn't be enough.
Well, you know what you could have done was do a calendar of old barns. You need 12 calendars, 12 pictures.
Of course, now with digital, it's so much easier, you know, I mean, you can self-publish and lots of things you couldn't do back then, you know.
Yeah.
So how's your moon bounce doing?
I haven't got to do very much. I've gotten, you have to wait until conditions are good. And I don't have a way to track the moon yet. And I'm not planning on going that far until I find out if I can actually make a contact or not.
Right.
And it's always been cloudy and overcast whenever the conditions are good. And if I can't see the moon, I can't point the antenna at the moon.
All right.
So I've had a little bit of a problem there. But and then I got off on building this. I've got a 2 meter whisper beacon running. Did you read the newsletter?
No, I haven't actually.
It's
Been,
Peter put an article in there. Peter Law wrote an article in this newsletter about my beacon that I have running now. Did you ever get on Discord? Or
yeah, I'm on there. I haven't. I don't get on there, but
I just put a picture up of my beacon, my little beacon transmitter. I'm using it's a standalone QRP Labs little transmitter that will transmit many different modes. It doesn't put out very much power. I don't remember, maybe a watt or something like that. But it pretty much will go from, I've had it on 2200 meters before, which is 137 kilohertz. So it'll go down that low and up to 80 meters, which is 28 megahertz band. So I take the output of that at 28 megahertz band, and I run that into a 2-meter transverter, which increases the power and converts it up to 2 meters. So I've got that running, and it's going into an antenna that I've got up about 45 feet in the air. And I've been running it all day long, every day, like from 6, 7 o'clock in the morning till 10 o'clock at night. And I'm trying to drum up, get people interested in doing some digital mode on 2 meters or anything, any band. But there's a lot of technicians, that can't work on the HF bands. So I'm trying to get them interested in doing some digital mode up here. And of course, the low end of the 2-meter band that's where the EME is at, and that's where the 2-meter sideband contacts are made, and all the digital modes are all down at the low end of the band. And all the digital mode is done in single sideband, upper sideband. So it's a single sideband signal that you're transmitting with digital tones being transmitted. And the receiving station receives those digital tones and decodes them and prints them out on your screen. That's where that works. But you can get a whole lot further with digital modes than you can voice, even further than you can on CW.
yeah, it takes a lot less bandwidth.
Oh yeah. One of the modes that we use on 630 meters and 2200 meters is JT9. And the bandwidth of JT9 is 6 hertz. That's not very wide.
Right.
You got a deer behind you now.
Yeah, I decided to come back in.
Yeah, that worked good.
Yeah, I wish you could see the top of it. I mean, it is one of the most beautiful pictures I've ever taken. And it was just, it was like, okay.
Well, you just need to resize it. Pull it up in some picture editing program. I use Photoshop, but you can use Paint and resize it. So it don't crop the top of it off.
Yeah, I'm here on my Ham Shack computer, and I don't have much on it. It's all ham stuff. I don't have have all that stuff on my regular laptop. I've got Photoshop and everything in the world, but this one I'm trying to keep just for ham stuff. Oh, but yeah, this was kind of a maiden voyage for us. I wanted to, pull the trailer with this truck, and plus I got, so much more room in the back end of this one than I had in the Avalanche.
Yeah.
We carry a lot more stuff.
Yeah.
But Oh, I'm glad we were leaving today. They were going to be turning the electricity off in the campground from 9 to 1 to
Hmm.
work on the main feed line.
Yeah.
OG&E was out there. Oh, everybody, there were but about 5 people in the campground. They were all bitching except us because we were leaving. So,
Yeah.
but I said, well, that's a good, if we were staying, we'd go into the Artesian and have some lunch and go to Walmart and,
Yeah.
maybe get back and go down to the lake for a little bit and then the power would be back on. So
Did you guys do any fishing?
I'm sorry.
Did you do any fishing?
No, I haven't fished in years.
Really?
I'm just too many other things to do.
Yeah.
I haven't had a license in 20 years. I live on a lake and I don't have a license I've never
Well,
fished.
it's free now. When you get
Oh,
old like me, you get a free.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Free. I have a lifetime hunting and fishing. Free.
How
Can't beat that, man.
old do you have to be to get that?
I think, I don't remember, if it's 62,
Oh, I'm old enough
65,
for that.
one. You qualify?
Yeah, I'm 64 and a half.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things like they're charging at all the state parks now. They're even to park, there's this you got to
That's a new
pay.
thing. Yeah, that's a new thing.
Yeah, but you can if you're over 65, you can get or 62, you can get a free annual pass to all of
Good.
them.
That's good to know.
Only problem is that I don't know why they won't make it lifetime, but like I just got a notice the other day that mine expires on the 28th of this month. So I've got to go to one of the state parks and
Yeah, that's pretty silly.
renew it.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, you could get a national park free pass too.
yeah, my wife's got that.
Yeah. Yeah, we had that. We went
Wife's
to, we
wife's a
went to-
touch older than I am, so she got the first opportunity, and we got that. And
well, my wife was older than me too. We went to we was at Lake Tahoe, and we was going to go to Yosemite, so we went through part of California and then back into Nevada. But we came into Yosemite, and there was a big long line, man. It must have been a mile long, people there. And this ranger come down the side road and asked us if we had a free pass. And I showed it to him, and he said, "Follow me." And he just took us right in.
wow,
So actually, we drove down the road going the wrong direction all the way into the Yosemite. And we was inside Yosemite, and it was inside one of those buildings where they had this great big oak tree with the rings counted down on it.
right?
400, 500 years old, however. And this female ranger was there, and I asked her for a brochure, and she said, "Well, how come you didn't get one when you came through the gate?" I said, "Oh, we didn't come through the gate." She said, "Well, how'd you get in?" I said, "We hiked over the mountain." And she kind of looked at me kind of funny. She said, "Well, how old are you?" And I told her. She said, "Well, you sure do look young for that age." She said, "Where are you from?" I said, "Oklahoma." She said, "Well, how come you look so young?" I said, "We got good water in Oklahoma," I said. I finally had to tell her the truth. Had her
Well,
going
my wife's got that pass, and like when we were at Yellowstone,
Mhm.
it was even though you had to stay in line, but
Yeah.
when you got up to the gate, you just
It helped.
I'd hold that pass up, they just wave you in,
Yeah,
so
it
gone.
definitely helped.
Hello, Chris.
Hello, Chris.
Hello, running late tonight.
That's a
But,
beautiful picture in your background there. Is that in Oklahoma?
Hardly. That is in Ridgeway, Colorado.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty country.
Ken, the other thing that passed, like we just stayed our hookup down there with full water and everything was $11 a night down there at Chickasaw National Forest with my wife's
really?
pass. Yeah, you get really cheap camping,
That was cheap.
Yeah.
$11 a night for full hookup?
Yeah, water and electric,
Wow.
Didn't have sewer, but they have a dump station. I don't care about the
Yeah.
sewer too much. I've only been one place where I was able to hook up the sewer, you
Oh,
know,
really?
stay hooked up. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's what we always did is full hookup. Uh, if we made reservations ahead of time, it was a full hookup deal. But when we were traveling, sometimes, if we were just spending one night someplace, why didn't matter much. But
Hey, Chris,
Yeah,
do me a favor. The camera is trying to focus on the picture instead of you because you're doing a background picture.
Yeah. Now you're real sharp.
it looks sharp now.
it
I
goes
was
in
going to
and
say,
out.
switch the camera to manual focus and adjust it strictly on your face, not the background picture, and it'll stay that way.
I've tried that, Mark, but it's working now.
Unless
Yeah,
you want
but
to, unless you
what
want to be blurry, you know.
I like to be blurry. Yeah, I've felt pretty blurry for the last few weeks.
You know, I'm a big NCIS fan, and it seems like every year their camera gets softer focus and softer focus on Mark Harmon in particular. You know, so, as he gets older.
Hey,
That's
we all need
important.
that.
Go ahead. I was just saying that's important as we get older. We want a softer focus.
Yeah. No, I used to do a lot of that, Ken. You know, I used to put Vaseline on the lens and
Mhm.
all sorts of different
Hey, they
effects.
sell soft focus filters there,
Yeah.
Sam.
Yeah.
I
We
got
used
a
to
few
make
of 'em.
our own, you know, and
Yeah.
I'd say on the lens, I'd buy a clear filter and,
Yeah.
you know, but biggest problem with the old black and white days is you had to wait hours to find out if you did any good, you know. I mean, I can remember going to a basketball game and spending all night processing it and not have a single shot that was worth a
Yeah.
whatever, you know.
Well,
But, it was more fun when you won, though, you know, and you got it right.
it's the bad thing is if you're not processing it yourself, you may have to wait a long time before you find out you didn't get anything on that
Yeah.
36 exposure roll.
Yeah. Buddy of mine and I used to do weddings. Of course, that was always in color. And we'd both shoot it. And, you know, we'd have to send the rolls off. And you just, you know, people were paying you. So you were hoping you got some good shots.
Well, I know it. Yeah.
But-
I remember when we was doing wildlife photography, every year when we'd go, I'd take 50 rolls of slide film and I'd never come back. I'd shoot every one of them, 50 rolls. That's a lot of film. Nowadays, you do it with a digital camera and save on that processing.
Mhm.
I sold my big lenses. I had a Nikkor 500 f4 and a Nikkor 300 2.8 that I use for my long lenses. Then I had a bunch of short lenses. I've still got most of them, but and I've got a 80 to 200 zoom and some short zooms. I have a 180 2.8, which is really a good lens, and I have a 200 millimeter macro lens. It's a Nikkor, and it's got a rotating mount on it, where you mount it on the tripod. So the collar you loosen, and you can rotate it from vertical to horizontal.
Right.
And that thing is really handy. And it's a 200 millimeter f4 macro lens.
I could never afford the really fast big lenses. You know, I always had to compromise, you know.
That 500 f4, whenever I bought it, it was about $4,200.
Yeah.
But now that thing is 10 grand.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know, the 300.
Nice things on my Pentax is when I went from film, well, not the early, that SP 500 had a screw mount Pentax, but when Pentax went to the bayonet, all the lenses I bought for my bayonet mounts work on my digital too.
Mm-hmm.
And
well, yeah, that's what I need. All of my the 500 f4 and the 300 2.8 and all those Nikkor lenses fit right on this new digital camera. I've got a
Yep.
D610 professional digital Nikon camera, and them lenses fit right on it. Autofocus and everything. So they're good about that. Hey,
People used
Mike.
to people used to ask me all the time what's the best camera to buy, and I said put it in your hand and
Yeah,
buy a name brand and hold it, and if it feels good, that's the one. Whether it's a Canon or
yeah.
Nikon or a Pentax.
They all make good cameras
Yeah.
and good, that Nikkor or Nikon, Canon, Pentax. They all got good glass. Their lenses are good.
And honestly, since all the glass is computer generated for the last 20 or 30 years, it's
Yeah.
really evened the playing field there. There was a time where there was nothing like Nikon glass.
Yeah,
I thought
or-
Pentax was like
Or
second or third.
Leica, the German
Leica.
Leica.
Yeah.
They had the good lenses, but they were way out of my price range.
Yeah, me too. But
I'm sending a big box of camera equipment to KEH this week to sell.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, well, I will be. All my Hasselblad equipment and all my Deerdorf view camera equipment.
Oh man, hate to see that stuff go. What kind of Hasselblad do you have?
500 CM.
I had one.
Did you?
Yep.
Nice camera.
I
Yep.
just looked at the pictures.
Yeah. Yeah. That old manual Hasselblad was really a nice camera. You don't need all that automatic crap to take a good picture.
No.
Nope. Well, I needed money for camera for radios, so something had to go.
Well, that's what happened to me. I sold some of my big lenses and bought ham radio gear with it. That's what I do. I have this hobby, and after I get tired of it, I
Yep.
sell the stuff and buy something else. But keep that money invested into your hobbies.
I hear you.
Then I just don't sell anything.
I don't either, but I have some stuff I should have sold.
Yeah,
My-
well,
my wife-
I've got all those old film cameras. I mean, I don't know if they'd bring $1 a piece
Yeah,
now. But things do come back around sometimes.
I've got this Nikon professional camera body that's a film body, and the body alone was $1,500. I kept it too long. Nobody wants it now.
Yeah.
KEH will buy it.
Will they?
Yeah, they sure will.
Pennies on the dollar.
Oh, about 25 cents on the dollar. Because they've got to turn around and sell it.
Yeah.
So
Well,
Who is that?
KEH.
I would hate to think about selling that 500C at 25 cents on the dollar. That would make
Yeah,
me sick.
it hurts. Or that Deerdorf, that
Yeah.
4x5 Deerdorf.
What is it? 4x5?
Yeah,
The Deerdorf?
actually, it's the 4x5 special, so it's a 5x7 actually.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's
24-inch bellows.
yeah. Oh wow. You could focus right down full frame on a quarter with that.
A dime.
Dime.
Yep,
Wow.
I've done it.
I think sometimes on that, it's like I've got stuff like that that's just sitting here. And even if I only got a quarter on the dollar, it might end up in the hands of some, young photographer who would just think it's the greatest thing in the world,
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so you never know, it's, I've got a GI Joe that I was given, my parents gave me when I was like 7,
Mhm.
or 6, and it's a collector's item,
Oh, yeah.
but it's sitting in a box.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm going to take it out and play it. I'm sure not going to give it to the grandkids and watch
Yeah.
them break the legs off of it. So I keep thinking I need to, this guy has a toy museum down there in Paul's Valley. And I keep thinking I ought to take it down there and even just give it to him. It could be on display and people would come through and enjoy it. But sure not doing any good sitting in my storeroom.
Hey, Mike here has really been helping me out with my 2-meter beacon. He's the only one that monitors me, helped me know that I was getting out. Him
I
and
think
Peter.
I might still have that on.
Well, I'm still transmitting.
Yeah, I just got home about a few minutes ago. Yeah. I don't know if you could see those little, no, you can't, it's too small.
It's pretty hard to see from here.
Well, I got it full screen for you. What do you want me to do? Pull this screen over to that one? There's still a little, not every one, but it's every other one now. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 traces here. And this one has a little diagonal in it. This one that has one at the bottom. This one's got a diagonal in it, and that one doesn't. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
It's
We may have
okay.
we may have to investigate that.
Yeah. I ordered an SDR hat for my Pi, and it came, but I can't get software to load for it.
Hmm.
I should be down there at the meeting trying to find out if
Yeah.
anybody down there's messed around with one of these SDR hats for a Pi. Got any Pi users on?
Well, I've got a Pi, but I don't know what kind of hat I put on it. It's been a while since I built this little critter. Can't remember. I remember I had a hard time with the pins on mine. Didn't want to line up, or there was a set of pins that collided with another set of pins.
Yeah.
And
I
ended up
I
going in
didn't
and
build-
clipping
I
them
didn't-
off. But,
I didn't build this one, Sam. I cheated. I just bought it. They come already assembled. But there's only one source of software for it, and I tried to get it to load it onto the Pi itself. And after I loaded it according to their instruction, it doesn't show up on the Pi. So I don't know what's going on. It's frustrating. So it's just sitting over there. And I got I got it originally so I could do whisper.
Yeah.
Here's another one that's supposed to whisper. I don't know if you guys are.
I can
Yeah.
see it. I can see it
a
pretty
little
good.
bit.
Do you
Yeah.
have it? Do you have it working?
I never got it working either. I'm holding it by the BNC connector.
So what manufacturer is that?
This one is a QRP Labs.
Well, that's what I'm using.
I built this one. Maybe that's why it's not working.
Well,
I think I built this one. Pretty sure.
hold it up again. It doesn't exactly look like mine. Well,
Oh, I'm trying to get it where you can maybe.
yeah, I can see the low pass filter on it looks like mine, but
And
the rest of it doesn't.
Then there's another filter. Yeah, there's another filter on top of it that was you had to build that one separate.
Yeah.
And then I
Well,
just got lots of tiny stuff coming out of my ears here. I'm trying to remember what this one is. It's a QRP Guys Whisper Pi.
the QRP.
Hello, Phil.
Hello.
Oh, hello, Phil.
Hey,
Hi
Phil.
there. What is that?
That's a Whisper.
That's a whisper.
A Whisper Pi. It's
Ah.
supposed to whisper, but I can't get it to talk or whisper. There's the bottom of it where it plugs into the Pi,
Yeah.
and it's another one I built. I just don't know if I didn't wind the toroids correctly or exactly why it didn't. Anyway, they just sit over here collecting dust.
Now, how did you create the circuit boards?
That's
I
part of it's a
cheated.
kit, Phil. It's
Yeah,
a
I bought
kit.
them as a kit, Phil. I
Bought
cheated.
them as a kit and assembled them?
This was
Fair enough.
QRP
QRP
Lab.
Guys.
At
QRP
least
Guys.
you're-
Com or something like that, they call themselves.
At least you're using a soldering iron.
Yes, I did.
QRP Labs makes some pretty neat stuff, Phil. You ought to Google them and you can buy, and they're cheap too. Kits are really cheap.
Wow. So does that do all of the audio and digital modulation? All you need is a transceiver?
No,
It's supposed to be a transceiver itself for Whisper. It's just a single band.
okay, Phil, I'm using the QRP Labs U3S kit, and I have filters, low pass filters. It will do about 6 bands, and right now I'm using it to put out a signal on 10 meters, and that's going into a 2-meter transverter, and I have a transverter, have a beacon running on 2 meters right now. I've been running it for about a week now. And if you read the newsletter that was sent out today, it tells a little bit about it in there.
Oh, wow.
And I got it. Mike here, and Mike's been copying me quite often. He's helping me get it going. Takes a while to get all this stuff going. I've got an antenna up about 45 feet, and I've been transmitting, turning it on of a morning and let it run until about 10 o'clock at night. So on the whisper frequency on 2 meters, that's 144.489 is the
What
whisper.
do you get back from that?
But I don't get anything back. It's a beacon.
It's just a beacon.
I'm transmitting a beacon to help other people get their setup up and running. So they have a signal source. Also,
Like
you can check propagation, tell when the band's open, then you can work somebody.
Oh,
Yeah. If you live in Dallas and you can hear his beacon while you know the band's open.
Yeah. And you don't have to sit here and send CQ for all day long. You can let it do it for you.
so you can get coverage information off the internet.
Yes. I can, whoever copies me, when they decode it, it uploads it to whisper.org, and I can see it there a few minutes later. And Mike's been copying me all day.
Well, pretty much. I took off for an hour or two in the middle of that. Ken, I was here in Afghanistan
Yeah,
and Italy.
fantastic.
I never got a hold of them, but I was hearing them.
What band?
17 meters
Yeah.
and 20.
Yeah. I think Chris said he did some 17 meters today.
Yeah. I really would like to either build a 20 meter or 17 meter beam.
Yeah. Well, I can help you with that. But what you can do to start with, how tall of a pole can you put up in your backyard without causing too much problem?
Well, if I read the if I read the covenant right, it cannot exceed the top of my fence, which is 6 feet.
That ain't worth a crap.
I know they won't even let you. They won't even let you build a storage shed taller than 6 foot. But looking down the row here, there's neighbors with 8 or 8.5 foot tall storage buildings. So they either didn't care or didn't read the covenant.
Did you
That's
say
a 12-foot fence.
Did you say your backyard's up against 89th?
Yeah.
Well, I don't think that your covenants can keep you from putting up a flagpole. I'd put up a 33-foot pole and make a 40-meter vertical, and that'll give you 40 and 15 meters.
Yeah.
And put a pulley up there. You don't even have to put a flag on it. Tell them that's a flagpole, and you don't have a flag yet.
waiting on the flag.
make you a ground plane vertical. And
Yeah.
man, on 40 meters, vertical really works good, and it's 33 foot. And if you don't think you can go that high, you can make it shorter and put some top loading on it, and still feed it at the base with 50 ohm coax. You don't need an elaborate tuning system if you make it resonant for 40 meters.
Yeah.
In your case, you'd want 7.1 megahertz, which is right at the bottom of the band, and that's where FT8 and CW is at.
Yeah.
Who else did that? Mike did that, and he used a fiberglass fat flagpole, and he stuck a vertical antenna inside of it.
Yeah. Yep. Of course, you can just get some aluminum that telescopes together and telescope 33 foot of it together and call it a flagpole.
Yeah.
Put down about 8 ground radios, put it right in the middle of your backyard, and then put some ground radials from there to each corner of your yard, and maybe 4, and then add as many as you can get. You know, if you get 16, that'd be wonderful. And I guarantee you, you'll be able to hear some stuff. And 40 meters is a pretty good band, because in the evenings, a lot of times, whenever you have a chance to get on the air, 40 meters is open.
Yeah.
Whereas 20 meters is conks out after dark.
I've got about 20 radios under mine.
Yep.
And it works fine. You really don't. Some people try to tell you need 128 radios. You really don't.
Well, I've got 32 radios under a 60-foot vertical fill, and I don't think I need 64.
That should work great.
Besides that, after I got 32 down, I was pooped out.
Yeah, I bet. I used a electric edger device.
Yeah.
To scribe a groove underneath the grass.
Yeah.
And I poked the wire underneath it and pushed the grass back down.
That's a good way of doing it. I didn't do this on mine, but I have used a gas powered edger to cut a groove and put your wire under there and in the slot and cover it up. But I done mine with a flat bladed shovel, and I put the radial down, tied at the far end, and then I went along that thing with the flat bladed shovel and cut a groove in the ground. And then I walked along and poked that. I had a stick with a fork in the end of it, and I poked it into that slot. And then I drove over it with my rod and lawnmower and closed up that slot, and you couldn't even tell it was there.
No wonder you were pooped.
Yeah, well, that 8 of those radios are 110 foot long.
Wow.
So I couldn't do all that in one day. I did one day and one another day.
You had a lot of
I finally
work.
got it done. But
I had a couple of low spots in my grass. So I took 40 penny nails.
Yeah.
Wrapped the wire around them, punched the nails down in the ground.
Yeah.
It just gave me that much better ground conductivity.
Yeah. Well, you can use tent stakes, or you can take some number 12 copper wire and make you some tent stakes and poke them in the ground. And some people will do that right on top of the grass and claim that in a year or so, you can't see them anymore. But I didn't take that chance because I want to be able to mow back there, and I don't want my lawnmower blade to get a hold of one of them ground radials and wind it up and pull it up out of the ground and all that crap.
You could see the edge of the wire in one or two places, and within a year, it had grown down in the ground.
Yeah.
And shoot, they're buried now. you couldn't get the wire out of the ground if you tried.
Yeah. So it can be done, Mike, and that might be a good way of doing it. So what kind of vertical is it, Phil?
I'm using a Hustler 5 BTV.
So, okay, so it's a multi-band.
It's 5-band vertical. Yep.
Yeah. There you go, Mike. Do something like that. And then you could have more than one band. How tall is that, Phil?
28 feet. That's got the 80-meter whip on the top of it. So it's pushing right at 30 feet.
Yeah. I think I'd try something like that, Mike.
The only problem I have with it is now it works great for DX. It doesn't matter. It loads up good. And I can push a kilowatt through it, no problem. But most of the folks around here have some kind of horizontal antenna. So on 10 meter and 6 meter night, I don't get very good coverage with a vertical.
No.
Horizontal.
When you get up on that higher frequency, you know, then polarity makes a difference. But
very, very polarity dependent. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Mike and myself and Peter Law did some testing on my Whisper Beacon, and I'm here in Shawnee. And whenever I had my antenna vertically polarized, Mike could copy me signal to noise ratio up around, what was it, Mike? Some of the decodes were up to 18 or 20 dB before I changed the polarity on it.
Yeah, it went down when you went horizontal and I stayed vertical.
Yeah.
Plus, Ken is on the direct. I'm pointed south and he's directly east of me. So he was talking to the side of my beam, which is very, what do they call that?
It's in a null.
Yeah, it has a null.
But my point is, whenever I was vertical and Mike was vertical, he was copying me at least 20 dBs better than whenever I switched to horizontal. Whenever I went to horizontal, Peter down in Norman, signal strength went up down there to, I don't remember, plus 17. So that's the difference between vertical and horizontal. But of course, you know, on 2 meters, it's definitely noticeable.
A lot of difference.
2 meters up, it really gets noticeable.
I was on the 6 meter net last night, and I was copying Jim on 6 meter horizontal antenna, S5, S6. And when I switched to the vertical, I could copy him, but it was like an S1.
Yeah, there you go. And that's even at 6 meters. Think how much worse it gets as you go up in frequency.
Yeah. Of course, that Hustler would look like an infinite length wire at VHF.
Yeah.
Harold came on, and of course, he was on a horizontal antenna. On my horizontal, I was getting him 20 over 9.
Yeah.
And on my vertical antenna, I was getting him about S4.
Yeah. That's quite a difference, isn't it?
A lot of difference. Yeah. But you get out on the HF frequencies. Some time ago, I did a lot of PSK 31, and I talked to all over the world on PSK 31 with 25 watts.
Yeah.
And it didn't matter what kind of antenna the other guy had.
Yeah. It's not so
once
critical on the HF bands.
Yeah, once it hits that ionic layer, it gets rotated anyway.
Yeah.
Bill, were you listening to the repeater at all today?
Some earlier, but I got busy with a bunch of customers and I had to turn them off because They were coming over the phone.
Yeah. Did you hear Ed on this afternoon?
No.
Okay. He doesn't sound like he's gonna make it through that Aries net tonight. His voice is going on him.
Uh-oh. I better.
So if you might want to be prepared to take it up the slack. I don't have a roster, or I would offer to do it for him. And I told him that this afternoon. He said he's going to try to call it.
I've got the roster right here in front of me. I usually pull it up just to make sure. Sometimes I have to set in for some of the other guys.
Yeah. Well, I suspect he may need a hand tonight.
Okay.
Sam, how was you so lucky to get the KI5 SAM call sign?
Well, I started out as KI5 CWR, so that's where they were at, in the C's. And, just decided I'd try it. I really wanted K5. I wanted to get rid of the I, just drop one digit, but that was already taken. So yeah, it's kind of good and it's kind of bad. Like when I'm on a net, I feel like I'm being, it says KI5 SAM Sam, like you all don't know what SAM spells like.
Yeah.
But,
it doesn't matter. It rhymes. Sounds good.
Well, and I really debated, I wanted something that sounded good phonetically, Sierra Alpha Mike kind of rolls pretty good. And so.
That's like Mel. His call sign just rhymes with his name.
I'm looking forward to the Hamfest down in Ardmore. I've everything I've got still has my hat, my shirt. I want to get some stuff. But
should be down there.
I did get some name tags. Took me 6 months to get them because I ordered them at one of the meetings and then virus hit.
Yeah. I got me a hat from down there in Ardmore. They do a pretty good job, don't they?
They do a good job.
Yep.
I don't ever wear it, but I don't ever go to a Hamfest anymore.
Yeah, I don't know why I want one, but I guess because I've got my CWR one.
But some guys got the T-shirt, and those look good too.
Yeah, I'd like one of those like golf shirts if I can afford one, but everything's just gone up so much. It's
yeah.
So I don't know. It's Ken, you were talking about I was really surprised when we went up to Yellowstone. I mean, gas was higher than here, but it wasn't bad. It was $3 roughly a gallon.
Yeah.
I was afraid, especially when you got up there. What really surprised me is the gas stations in Yellowstone were cheaper than the ones outside Yellowstone.
We used to fill up there at the RV park on Yellowstone Lake at the outlet, where the water flows out of Yellowstone Lake. By the way, the water flows north there out of the lake. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
But yeah, and that was where we always bought gas, and it was cheaper than it was outside the park.
Yep. I was really surprised. They have Sinclair stations.
Yeah.
3 or 4 of them, they're inside the park, and they're very reasonable, So.
Well, when we went to Alaska, we filled up in a 7-Eleven in Anchorage, and it wasn't near as high priced as gas in Oregon and California.
I think a lot of that has to do with state taxes,
Yeah.
more so than the actual price of the gas, you know.
By the way, in Oregon, you can't pump your own gas. Did you know that?
Really?
Yeah. You have to have the attendant pump it for you.
I got in trouble that way in New Jersey. I got out, went to pump my gas. The guy came running out there. You can't pump your own gas.
The same thing happened to me, Phil, in Oregon. What the hell's the matter with you?
Yeah,
You know,
what's the matter with you? You can't pump your own gas.
I can't remember if it was
thought it was,
Kentucky or Tennessee. They didn't have you had to stand there and hold it. It didn't have a little catch.
Oh, yeah.
Self-service ones.
On purpose, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. There was state law. You couldn't have that little flicker thing. You had to stand there and hold it. I guess, you know, people would set that and they'd go in the store or whatever and it'd overflow.
Yeah.
I mean,
if it didn't shut off when it's supposed to.
Yep.
That would be a mechanical problem.
That's what the gas cap is for.
Yeah.
You just slip that gas cap in the handle and
yep, that's
stand
what
there
we
with
did.
your hands in your pocket.
Jam the gas cap in the handle. If the little tip is in the nozzle, it will shut off.
Yep. If everything works right, it will.
Well, I had that problem in Texas. it was about 2:00 in the morning. I set the gas up to pump itself, went to the bathroom, got a Coke, bag of chips, came back out, and there's gasoline all over everywhere.
Oh, no.
Legally, you're supposed to stay you're supposed to stay inside of the nozzle.
Yeah.
Written right there on the pump.
I learned my lesson. I don't go off and leave it anymore.
Well, it's what else have I got?
But Sam, you're gonna have to resize that little deer shot back there. For next week.
Yeah, I'll have it ready for next week. I was hiking down at Chickasaw National Forest down there and shot that with my cell phone, you know, and it was just like this deer was just posing for me. This little doe, or little fawn, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, a little baby deer. He wasn't old enough to know to be afraid.
I don't know. There were two of them. The other one just kept hiding in the brush a little bit. He would never get out where I could get a good clean shot. This guy just walked right out there and just froze and looked at me. It's amazing how still they can stand.
Yeah. Oh, there's Ken. What's going on, Ken?
He's still connecting.
Yeah. Must be on his cell phone.
He must have been Home Depoting.
No, it's not been a good day. Just getting back from the hospital with my daughter.
Oh no.
Oh,
She okay?
Well, she's gonna be okay for now, I think. She's got well, some gastric problems and she had to have a procedure done. Did not like the anesthetic and came up kind of, did not come up easy. So they're gonna keep her a day or two.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
I hope she's okay.
Well, I think so. Hopefully we got there in time and
Are you at home now, Ken?
yeah, I just got back to the house. I dropped my wife went over to, and we almost didn't pull that off. They weren't going to let her go in, but she talked them into it.
Yeah.
So.
All this COVID stuff.
Yeah, it is. And, you know, I mean, it doesn't make a lot of sense, some of it. We're not traipsing a whole bunch of people through there, but we all live in the same house. So,
yeah.
any one of us is the same viral threat as the other.
Mhm.
Anyway,
Well, I think part of it, they don't have time to police all that.
I know.
They got other things to do. So just make a rule.
I'd have been smart. I'd have slipped a little purple armband off my arm and put it on my wife, and we would have waltzed in like we knew what we were doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Anyway.
Or the visitor center down there at Chickasaw was masked enter. We don't care about your vaccination status. Come in
Yeah.
the building, you have to wear a mask.
I can understand that.
That's just, just plain and simple. Not trying to figure out.
Well, yeah, if everybody would wear the mask, it wouldn't be near the spread. I mean, it's that simple. Are they perfect? Hell no. But
I would do that in the hospital anyway. Too many sick people.
Oh, look at the pump.
Yeah, and then I'll be back to
Yeah.
oh, well, anyway.
After a while.
Anyway, yeah.
work on that other thing. We'll get back.
Okay.
Anyhow,
So Ken, are you doing any radioing?
which Ken, me?
Yeah, the Ken that I've been talking to the other Ken for an hour already. So
Actually, I got my care package from. I had it just gotten it last week from QRP Labs. So I got the GPS hooked up, and I got the QCX calibrated, and I'm about ready. I had one problem in the way I set it up, and I think it's now ready to go for whisper mode. I got my whisper login and all that. And
Oh,
so
good.
yeah, I'm pretty close to being able to go with that now.
Well, I didn't know it would do whisper. I thought it was just a CW rig.
But it'll do. I mean, it'll do the tones.
Yeah.
It's kind of odd because you have to shift the frequency to accommodate the upper sideband.
Well,
So-
all digital mode is upper sideband.
Yeah, but in reality, if once you subtract the carrier, it's just a tone on a frequency, basically a modulated narrow 200 hertz or less tone on a
It's-
frequency.
It's
So all you got to do with it,
it's
all
a-
you got to do,
it's a
with
suppressed
that.
carrier with a tone on it.
right? All you do with
It's an
it,
upper sideband suppressed carrier with a tone on it.
right? So what you're transmitting is the upper sideband,
Right.
the tone, and that's 1500 hertz above the USB frequency on the dial.
Exactly
So-
right.
All you do with the CW is you add that 1500 hertz to your frequency setting, and it puts you in that band, in that upper sideband
Mhm.
with a straight direct, and then and of course it's got the computer to do the encoding. So that's supposed to work like that, and they do.
Yeah.
But you got to have the frequency right, the time right, the time slot right, yada
Yeah.
yada yada. And
That's right.
took me a while to get them all in order.
Yeah, it does. So what you put in is the dial frequency plus 1500 hertz,
Basically, yes,
and that simplifies it.
that makes it real simple.
Mhm.
And I did confirm that it was coming in on the right band and all that. I got that much
Good.
done.
Yeah.
And so anyway, it's ready to.
Well, what I'm doing, Ken, I'm using this QRP Labs U3 on 10 meters. So it's putting out a 10-meter signal, and that goes into a Elecraft transverter, which has a 28 megahertz input, and I'm getting 2-meter whisper out. And that's what I'm using for my beacon.
Well, I will ultimately use the 9700 2-meter in whisper mode
Yeah.
when I want to go to 2-meter,
Yes.
and then we'll see how that goes.
But see that with this standalone QRP Labs, I don't have to have my transceiver on to run my
Yeah.
beacon.
Yeah, and the QCX operates the same way as the U3
Yeah.
beacon mode.
As
It
a
has a
beacon, as a beacon, as a whisper beacon transmitter.
It'll do whisper, it'll do CW, it'll do 3 or 4 beacon modes.
Yeah.
But so you can go through in the programming and select whisper.
Yeah. Yeah. So the U3 does a whole bunch of different modes that I wouldn't even never use, but
Yeah, probably. But anyway, it's basically it's the same thing, except it's also a CW transceiver.
yeah. Well, that's pretty neat.
Yeah.
They didn't, I don't think they had that whenever I bought this U3.
So anyway, so I'm making progress. And then I also bought the crystal, the program prog rock crystal substitute thing.
Mhm. Yeah,
Anyway, I haven't got that going yet, but
it's a pretty small piece of hardware, isn't it?
yeah, it is. It uses one of the the 51 whatever 35 sync modules,
Yeah,
and then it's got a tiny fiddle microcontroller chip, very small memory, and it it loads a couple of registers to control the frequency and give you 2 or 3 outputs. Then you can GPS discipline that.
yeah,
So my thoughts are I'll make it a 10 meg frequency source with GPS discipline.
yeah.
And
That'll make a good solid.
Yeah.
So I'm using their GPS with my Ultimate 3, the one that QRP Lab sells, and I've got it in a. If you go on our chat page, I uploaded a picture of my 2-meter whisper beacon today. You go to Discord on there.
I have to go turn the real computer on and
Oh yeah.
and I'll go look. But right now the recliner's got a firm grip on me.
Hey, I've got a coax question for you guys. When I put the HF back in my new truck, can I use this little what is it, RG316, this little thin coax, or do I need to go for HF?
You need to.
Well, you have about 15 feet of it.
Yeah, it's only actually probably less than 10. It's
Not
not gonna be
gonna
much.
matter. Now, the question is how much power are you trying to run?
Well, I've got 100 watt. I've got a 7100. I think it's 100 watt, I think.
You won't have any trouble.
I mean, that's what I run my VHF UHF on. Here's the
Yeah.
here's that. But man, it's so easy to thread this in, and
if you're trying to run legal limit out of your truck, that might be a problem.
no, I run my good old 7300 or 7300.
7100.
7100, yeah. Gosh.
I would use RG8X.
A little more robust.
Yeah, not as much loss.
But it's only going to be 10 feet. So
yeah,
probably have a hard time telling the difference on the other end.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hang on, I'll be right back.
Half a dB or something.
Well, even if it was a dB, you'd never notice it on the other end.
I doubt y'all will be able to see this because it's always bad, but this is what I had in my old truck. Let me see if I can get in here.
Hey, your background is killing me.
See it right there?
I can just barely
and it had a metal braid on the outside of it.
Yeah.
And but boy, it was a bear to thread around places. Can't remember what that was. Anyway, I'm really not wanting to drill big holes in this new truck either.
I understand.
Yeah. The smaller the hole, the better.
Anyway, I really thought I'd be in Norman today, but my plans got changed.
Well, I hope everything's good for your daughter.
Well, I'm hoping, obviously. But,
We'll keep her in her prayers.
yeah, thank you. It's looking like Lyndall is going to make it. Lyndall Smith is down with the COVID and
Oh, really?
hospitalized, and
Wow.
Oh, no.
he's in pretty fair bad shape for a while.
How old is he?
Well, he's not 65 yet because he's not on Medicare.
Yeah.
He's in his 50s, I think, or early 60s. But too young to,
Yeah.
anyway. Yeah,
Wonder why I hadn't seen him at Elmer night either place in a while. So
yeah, it's been a little bit. I texted with him a little while, several days ago, I guess, and then I see on Facebook that he's responding to some posts, so that's a good sign.
does anybody know anything about the coax guy down in Mustang?
I bought stuff from him.
Well, I bought a bunch of stuff from him, but I went to his website the other day and his website's like gone.
Really?
Well, can't
Maybe
seem
they
to
retired.
connect. Yeah, when I redid my ham shack a while back, I decided it was just as easy, and I just told him what links I want, and I just had him do all my coax runs. And,
I bought something from him about 2 months ago, I think.
yeah, maybe his website just down, or he got tired of paying the fees. Who knows? But
Well,
Could have been a temporary server thing too.
yeah, could have been a server.
I'm gonna try him again here.
I know one thing, it would be quite a chore to pack up everything and go to a ham fest and display it and pick all that stuff up, take it back home and then
Yeah.
do it again at the next ham fest. And, I used to see him at Claremore and Enid and Hardmore.
Well, his website's back, so
Good.
Well, that might be okay, huh?
yeah. Yeah, I was thinking about having him, figuring out what I want for my truck and just have him do it. I mean, I can solder connectors, but man, he just does such a nice job, and he's really inexpensive for what you get. It's certainly a better job than I could do.
Well, the problem is a lot of times I would fish my cable through and then put the connector on the end because
Right.
didn't want it that big of a hole to get the connector through.
Well, and see, like this RG316 on this VHF UHF has this little bitty connector on the end of it, and then the
Yeah.
screws onto and that's makes it really nice to get threaded, and then you just screw on the.
Is it a SMA connector?
I don't know what it is. I was thinking about that the other day. It's just the way it came. I don't know how to answer that, Ken.
I got one. I'll show you.
Well, I can try to. If I can get it.
I got a whole bag of them here. Let's see if that's what it is. It's an old bag. Look like that?
Hang on just a second here. Sorry, I got. No.
Hmm.
I think not. Well, I was trying to turn off my background, so maybe I can
Is it a BNC like that?
go background. Let me see how. Hang on a second. Figure out how to turn off my background here.
Just go in there like you're gonna change your picture and say none.
Yeah, I don't, oh no, I have to scroll. Okay, there's none. Okay, there's the end of it, and then
Alright.
there's the.
Well, that's the same as this.
Is it? Let me get rid of this so I can see yours
One
again.
end is
I get
SMA.
it.
Is that what that
Okay,
little one
now.
is?
I don't think that's the same thing, Ken.
Don't.
Look at the one that Sam has.
Yeah, one end looks the same, one end doesn't. Are they not?
Yeah,
Are they
then-
different?
But what's that other piece, Sam?
It
Well,
looks-
this is
Screws into
the,
that. Yeah, see?
That's just an adapter.
yeah, and see, then this screws onto here.
Yeah, it's the same.
Oh,
That's an
Oh,
SMA.
okay. yep, it is the same.
Let me see
Yeah.
the end of that adapter. Is that a end connector? Huh. Oh, that goes onto the antenna?
Yeah, well, see,
Yeah.
there's,
Oh, okay, that's what I wanted. So that's a UHF to SMA. That's what that is.
so where's my?
That's an SMA connector. You can buy all kinds of that stuff from Amazon.
Just wonder if that's the same as. You know, that's the, yeah, it's the same as the, I mean, my antenna off my bow fang will screw into this just like that little adapter did. So whatever that is, it's
There's an
Yeah.
adapter like you got.
yeah. Excuse me, guys. Stirred up some. Okay, so let me see if I've got. You know, I've got a whole bunch of little adapters that convert where I can plug
Yeah.
my bow fang into a. But they're going to be the other. I really want to spring for one of those little kits like you've got, Ken.
They're cheap. Get them on Amazon. You get
I mean, I
Bag
got
of
mine from,
adapters, 90 degrees and all kinds of stuff.
HRO.
Yeah,
Used to that
they're about
stuff-
$80 for that.
Yeah.
Ken's
No,
got
this-
that little set that's got like two of everything, you know.
Well, this little old thing I got was like $20 for a whole bag of parts, whole bag of SMA connectors and
I'm gonna walk over here for a second.
adapters is what gets you, man. They're proud of them adapters.
My other QRP Labs project is that little 50-watt amplifier kit.
Oh, you got the QRP Labs 50-watt amplifier to go with it?
Yep, I got the kit. It's going to be pretty straightforward, I think. I haven't started it yet, but it won't take
Yeah.
long. And that'll make a good little station out of that
Yes, it will.
QCX. So I had my single counterpoise vertical up the other night, and I was getting some real good signals out of Louisiana and beyond. But
What band?
if I'd have had my key handy, and
Yeah.
I
What,
might have solved my contact problem.
yeah. What band, Ken?
It was decoding a guy beautifully.
What band?
That's a 40 meter.
Well, we got Dan showed up. You're muted, Dan.
You're done.
Hi, guys.
Hey,
Sorry, it's nighttime here for the kiddos, so it's lots of shenanigans in the background putting everybody to bed. But I wanted to come in here and say hello to you guys. How you guys doing?
Well, we're hanging in there.
There you go. I'm just kind of hanging out for a little bit before bedtime, and I was like, oh yeah, it's Elmer night.
I don't know if I've met you before or not, Dan. Where are you at?
I'm in Tecumseh. I've been a member of the club, but I've not been able to make. I think I made one virtual meeting, but yeah, we have 10 acres over here, and I'm a middle school teacher, inner city in Oklahoma City, and so this is like a really, really, really busy time of the year.
I live over near Shawnee Lake.
Oh, okay. I know where that's
Not too
at.
far.
Yeah, I'm 5 miles west of Tecumseh on just off of Highway 9.
5 miles west?
Yes, I'm basically Bethel Acres.
Yeah. Oh, Bethel
Yeah.
Acres. That's close to me.
Our address says Tecumseh, but we're in the city limits of Bethel Acres. So
Well, I'm in the city limits of McLeod, and my address is Shawnee.
crazy.
Crazy, crazy. My kids went to school at Dale.
Gotcha. I'm originally from the Midwest, so I'm still, and I lived in Texas for 10 years.
Yeah.
My wife is from here, and so we moved here last year to be closer to her family. So I'm still kind of learning the area myself, but she could tell you everywhere. Like she knows. And-
Do you have a multi-mode transceiver that covers 2 meters?
Yes, I do. I've got HF gear. I've got an ICOM 9700, 7300. I just haven't had a chance to get everything up yet. I've got 2 meter. I've got DMR here. I just got a lot of no time to get things
I
up.
recently started a beacon on 2 meters, a whisper beacon.
I think I saw something about that in the newsletter.
Yeah, it's in the newsletter. And
Yeah.
I'm trying to generate some activity here on 2 meter digital mode and 2 meter sideband. Something besides going through a repeater, you know?
Yes, and as soon as the weather gets cooling down, I've got a 40-foot portable tower, an AB 577 mast.
Yeah.
Military tower that's going up about 40 feet with 2 meter sideband,
Yeah,
6
good.
meters, and an a small HF Yagi. So I just got to get some cooler weather in time.
Yeah, you shouldn't have any trouble copying me.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out when I get that up.
Well, you don't even need that good of an antenna. As close as we are, you should be able to copy my beacon.
Okay. All right, sweet.
You do digital mode?
Yes, I do. Yes.
Well, you're ready to go then.
Yeah.
Mike, HXT's been helping me get this beacon set up, and Peter Law down in Norman.
Mm-hmm.
And that's about the only 2 that's copied me so far.
Okay.
But
I'll check it out.
you know, the nice thing about the whisper beacon is you can monitor it, and you can tell whenever the band opens to do a little bit of 2 meter DX sideband or digital mode, whatever you want to do.
Right. Very cool.
So I'm using a QRP Labs standalone whisper beacon transmitter to drive. Its output is on 10 meters, 28 megahertz, and that drives a Elecraft 2 meter transverter. So that gets it up to 2 meters. And so I'm transmitting about 10 watts. You know, that whisper is 2 minutes key down, 2 minutes key up. So I don't want to run it full power with key down at key down for 2 minutes. It's not good for finals, you know.
Right.
So I've got reduced power down some, but you don't need a lot of power on whisper, as you know.
Right. Well, very cool. I'll check that out.
Yeah, I want to see your call sign decode. WX5WX. That's a good call sign.
Yeah, thank you.
I might have talked to you before on 2 meters. Through,
Yeah, you
Ron.
may have. This call is fairly new to me. I had N9WX for what was my call sign for 20 years. I'm from Indiana. And when I realized I was going to be a 5-land probably for the rest of my life, I thought I'd like to get a 5 call. So
that's a good call. So how long you been in 5-land?
Well, I moved to Texas in 2009, and I lived in Texas I lived in Denton, which is outside of Dallas, and I lived in Sherman for 5 years. But I was I moved down to the South in 2009. So I've been in the South since 2009, met my wife 9 years ago, and we lived in Texas together until the COVID, and then I changed careers, at least temporarily.
Yeah.
And so we thought, well, this is a good opportunity to move closer to her family. So we did that.
Yeah. So what do you do for a living now?
Inner city school teacher.
Oh, you told me that a while ago.
Yeah, used to be an airline pilot.
Yeah.
So,
well, that's quite a change.
Yeah. I started growing the beard about the moment I stopped flying, and I've just let it grow ever since. It's kind of my timeline.
There you go.
So my wife loves it because I couldn't have one before.
Yeah.
And my wife's like, man, I really like that. So I just I don't touch it. I just kind of let it grow. And
you could take that to 2 different ways.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I told her, I said, I have a face for radio and a face that should be covered with a beard. So.
Okay, I found that.
Oh,
I'm going to get something to drink, guys. I'll be right back.
All right. Well, I wish some of you guys would get geared up where you could copy my bacon.
Well, I think Ken's the closest, and sounds like anyway. I got the username and password, but haven't started getting equipment yet.
Yeah, you need
6 devices, but I haven't updated my name on this one. It's got my old call.
Yeah.
You need
Phone was dying on me.
You need an all mode transceiver, Sam.
Yep. I need to. I don't know. I haven't had time to use what I've got, so haven't been on D-Star and Ages. Haven't been on. Gosh, anything hardly except a little VHF, UHF. But haven't done any Morse code either, Ken.
Well, I'm working. Like I said, I almost jumped in the other night. My QCX was decoding so clean that if I could have got in, if I'd had a key hooked up on it, I could have jumped in. I probably would have solved my contact problem and got my first one out of the way.
See, if both of you had one of those little transceivers, Ken, you'd have it made then. Both of you could
Well, this other old guy was doing pretty good. He was what was he? W5 ZR, I think, from Louisiana. And anyway, I'm close. It's going to happen pretty quick here. I'm getting ready to back off work considerable. So
yeah,
like you said that about 3 weeks
ago.
ago.
I haven't decided yet.
My first CW contact Ken whenever I was a novice was I worked a station I had a homebrew 15 meter 1 tube transmitter, crystal controlled, and I worked Barbados on 15 That was my call sign was same as it is now, but it had an N, KN5DNL. And man, I was so excited about that. I couldn't hardly stand it.
I imagine.
I'm sure my CW was terrible, but he managed to figure out who I was.
Well, if I try to stick with my straight key, I'll be rough for a little while.
Yeah.
But I'm a lot smoother with the paddle, but still plenty of mistakes.
Hey, I got a QSL card a day or two ago. I don't know if you can see this or not. That's Chatham Island. That's down there by New Zealand. And I worked this guy December of 2010, and he just now sent me a QSL card. Like I told Mike, no need to get in any hurry, I guess.
I know he likes paperwork like I do. Of course, this was
on 80 meter CW in 2010.
Wow.
Well, you had to get them printed.
I got boxes of paperwork that are older than that probably have something in them I should do, but I figure if it was important, they'd contact me again. Well, I figure if I go to hell, I'm going to be in a cubicle doing paperwork with the guy in the next cubicle playing rap.
Yeah.
So I got to be good.
Yeah, that's why I do logbook of the world now, so I don't have to do that. On QRZ.com, I say preferred logbook of the world.
Well, I do QRZ when I do, and I'm not very often, not near often enough. But I had logbook of the world for my AG call, and I haven't updated it. I need to get busy and do that.
Yeah, that's the way to go, man.
And then for a while, I just do both. I'd log on QRZ and then upload it to Logbook of the World.
Yeah.
I also got the same software that we have at club.
Yeah.
Contest or regular or general log.
Yeah.
And that's easy to use. Well, we got a few people in the big room.
I see Carl's on there now. See a stack of test equipment there.
Yep. I'm here.
Phil, I got a question for you concerning railroad radios. He may not be listening.
He's muted.
I think he's doing the net.
Yeah, he might be doing the net.
Well, the Railway Museum's getting ready to buy some radios. And they operate in the railway band. At least part of their operation.
Who are we talking about?
Oh, this is Oklahoma Railway Museum up near
30th and
Spring Creek, 36th and Grand.
Oh,
Northeast 36th and Grand.
It's up there by the zoo.
Yeah, not far from the zoo.
You're right by that military museum.
Right up there by the racetrack and casino. So they could really disrupt the race easily. Go up there and blow a horn. The horses.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta make this thing stable. I'm getting seasick.
Well, my latest gadget, guys, is I'm out here in the boonies and I just got fiber optic internet and I am enjoying my smoking fast internet out here. Canadian Valley Electrical Co-op just installed it. We were in phase 1, lucky us.
Wow.
1.1 gigs is what I'm seeing.
Wow.
Up and down. And that's not even the fastest. That's the mid-grade. The fastest we're offering is 2.4. And I can't even imagine needing more than a gig. That's incredible. So
But you'll grow into it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I won't be able to stand slow internet after that.
I know. Well, we're supposed to get AT&T fiber in my neighborhood sometime this year, I think. But in the meantime, I've got a T-Mobile cellular thing that I'm running against Cox just to see who gives me the better value.
Well, my internet here is through cable, and it's 150 megabyte up and down.
That's fast.
I don't have a problem.
Yeah.
I only get about 80 or 90 down and about 20 up or 30 maybe.
I was getting 7 before this. 7.
Wow.
Yeah, it was DSL is all we had.
Yeah, I was going to say you were DSL.
Yeah. So
it's
super fast.
And DSL is really slow on the upload too.
And I was actually thinking it was what is it, the Windstream guys out here. I'm like, that company's going out of business, man. Because if their main business is out here, they're going, I mean, because Canadian Valley is going everywhere. That's going to take them a couple of years to get everywhere. But and a lot of the other co-ops are also going fiber optic, and it's like I can't imagine anybody. It's the same price. I'm paying like $80 for my DSL and $85 for my Canadian Valley for a gig. It's like, I'm not the smartest guy in the room, but
well, that's not a bad
They got to
price.
hurry up and beat Starlink.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I got notified the other day that I'm in an eligible area now for Starlink.
Really?
But,
So, what's the price, Sam?
I don't know. They didn't tell me any of that.
$500 up front and then $100 a month or so neighborhood.
I think Dan's got a better deal.
Yeah.
What's Starlink, guys? How fast is that?
I don't think it's a gig.
It's not that. It's 100. It's 100 meg, I think.
Yeah, 100.
It's not.
Yeah, the guy that installed it yesterday, he told my wife, he tested it and he's like, you're getting even faster than what we promised you. So, and I'm like, yeah, but that's because there's nobody out here yet. Like we're just not getting it on. But hey, I'll take a gig. Actually, I'll take 500. Sounds great to me compared to what I was getting.
I don't think you're going to notice the difference even whenever you get a lot of people on there, because that fiber don't slow down like some of the other internets do.
Smoking fast.
My cable.
I went from the DSL you had at 7 to Cox, and I just did a speed test. I'm getting 178 download, 9 upload, which I don't know why I would want it any faster. But
and that's me. I went from DSL to this 150 megabyte cable, and man, we stream 2 or 3 TVs at a time, and it never slows down.
Yeah.
I don't have to wait for it to load.
Well, I'll tell you, mine does slow down like in the afternoon about the time all the kids get home from school.
I never tell that mine slows down.
It slows down some. It's still way better than DSL, but
I kind of live out in the country, and there's not a lot of people on right here close to me.
By the way, guys, that was my wife, K5 DSN. So she's getting ready to do some sewing tonight, and
No, I want to then.
so
Tell her we said hello.
Hello.
They said hello.
Well, it's
and
I think I'm
Don,
going to log off. It's been a day.
yeah, sounds like it.
All right, Ken. You take
We'll be
care.
thinking about you, Ken. If you need anything.
Hopefully
you
next
take
week
care,
I
Ken.
actually get into the big room.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go too, guys. I've been facing 13-year-olds all day in the inner city. Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
I'll trade you for 2 grandkids, 3 and 7,
I'm not
But,
even the grandkid stage yet. I've got the kids ranging from 15 down to 4.5. So
oh my gosh.
it's a spectrum around here.
Yeah.
But, yeah, inner city schools, middle school. Woo. Yeah. Good luck with that.
Yeah, my best friend taught 7th grade, or was it 8th grade? Anyway, for a while, right after we got out of college, and he got out of that pretty quick. But a job's a job,
Right. Well, I'm hoping to get on at Southwest as my next year goal. So start flying for them. So
anyway, good.
All right, you guys have a good night. I'm gonna
Good
get out
talking
of
to you,
here.
Dan.
All right, Dan, come back and see us.
We'll do it. See you guys.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna. So I found those connectors on Amazon, Ken. I'm gonna order a couple of them.
Price not too bad, is it?
No, it's $6 for 2 of them or something
Yeah.
like that, with free shipping. So, but the other Ken has got this kit though. He got from HRO that's got like 2 of every combination you can imagine. It's a little case.
$6 though.
Yeah, it's $80, and I just can't quite get but the nice thing is you when you're trying to figure it out, you got everything to try, until you figure out what it is.
But you have Amazon. You can go there and find what you want. If you buy a $80 kit, there's gonna be a bunch of stuff in there you never use.
That's true. That's true. Well, this is just the opposite of what I bought to connect my Baofeng to my outdoor antenna.
Yeah.
It's just got the opposite on the SMA side. So I guess it's an SMA female instead of an SMA male.
Exactly.
But anyway.
Well, was his name Dan?
Yeah.
He was paying, I think he said $80 for fiber.
Yeah. I'd
That's
give it a heartbeat.
That's about what I'm paying for cable, but
yep, me too.
I have a telephone through it too. I have cable with the phone is $78 or something like that a month, but we stream video through it, and I stream wireless from my routers here in the ham shack. The TV in the living room is wireless, and I stream movies, and it never has to reload or any of that crap.
Use a Roku, or what do you?
No. Oh, you mean from the video?
Yeah. What do you?
Well, I get Amazon and Netflix and Hulu.
Built into your TV, or?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I use Roku boxes. My TVs don't have that built in, so I use Roku boxes to get all those services.
I got YouTube with no advertisement.
How much is that? I've been tempting.
Free for me.
How's that?
Y'all have a good night. I'm gonna go eat supper. Good night.
All right, Phil.
It's
Take
too
care.
late to eat now,
Eat
Phil.
some salad for us too.
I will do it.
Phil.
Too late to eat now, Phil.
He just eats rabbit food now. So
That's right. That's just rabbit food.
it's good. So how do you get free the YouTube thing free?
Well, my son's got some kind of a hack thing going that I can get it for free.
Okay. See, I just hate monthly charges. I mean,
Me too.
I try to stay. They just eat at you, and the phone company was the absolute worst. We'll give you a line for $18.95 a month, but then if you want call forwarding, that's another $5. You want call waiting, that's another $5.
Well, I don't have any of
You're
that.
paying
crap,
$60, $80.
Actually, my this phone through the cable, it's like $19 a month. All the long distance I want to do.
See, I use a voice over IP service. Cost me 99 cents a month.
Yeah, that's,
You know. And AT&T, it's been 10 years. AT&T still keeps sending me these things that say, we want you back. What can we
Yeah.
do? And I said, well, how about giving me phone for 99 cents a month, including voicemail?
it's like Direct TV. They kept
Oh,
going up on the price, up on the price.
yeah.
And that's whenever I decided to get rid of them. And so, and I had, my internet was through the cloud phone company, which was slower than crap. And so I got rid of all of that and went to cable for less money, better service.
Yep.
Can't
My
complain.
only problem is I'm on one thing. If that Cox line goes down like in an ice storm,
Yeah,
I got nothing.
Well-
No phone, no. I mean, I got cell phone, but
you got your cell phone. Yeah,
and I've got ham radio.
yeah. Yeah. So we got cell phone and landline and ham radio.
Yeah. My only problem is years ago I was in the construction business and Cox was terrible about back then, especially about spotting their lines if you were going to dig, you know. And then if you did cut one, they didn't hold you responsible because they hadn't spotted it, but it also took them a week to get out and get it fixed.
Yeah.
Which pissed off the whole neighborhood.
Yeah.
You know, you cut their line. So, but, well, guys, I'm going to get out of here too. Go. I'm not going to eat rabbit food, but
No.
maybe go
All right, Sam, we'll
find a little bourbon or something to sip on and see how the wife's doing.
see you next time.
Yep, good to see both of you. I was hoping
All right,
Mike,
Sam, take care.
from Michigan would show up tonight because
Don. Oh, Mike from Michigan.
Mike that lives up. Anyway, we're talking about camping. We're wanting to go up to the Upper Peninsula.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
That's going to be probably one of our next big trips. So, but my wife was reading today. It was in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan today. The high was 66.
Yeah.
And I thought that's where I want to be. Or I want to go there. So.
Well, I like to go to Colorado because, especially in the fall, because when you go to the Upper Peninsula, you're going to be wall to wall with people.
Yeah. It's pretty much that way anywhere you go. That's good to be there. I mean,
Yeah.
especially now, so many people camping. I mean, it's just crazy. Anyway, we'll see you all next week. Everybody
All right.
stay healthy.
Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
All right. Same to you.
Ciao.
Take care.
Well, what kind of photography did you do, Chris? Did you do landscape or portrait or what?
I was a landscape photographer. I did calendars and postcards for 27 years.
Oh, yeah, that's fun. So you traveled around to take those pictures?
Oh yeah, all over the Northwest.
Yeah. Well, that's me. The Northwest is my direction. Yeah,
Yeah,
as
when I leave town, that's the direction my vehicle goes
Me too.
automatically.
Me too. That's why I was trying to talk him out of going to Upper Peninsula. There's too many places in the Northwest to go.
Oh yeah, and too many that I still haven't seen.
We're,
Go ahead.
one year we, right after I retired, had to pick up and fifth wheel, and we went to the Olympic Peninsula in Washington, and we
Yeah.
stayed there a little bit. Well, I have a cousin in Portland. We stayed there 2 or 3 nights, which is longer than I expected. But we drove the coast road from Washington all the way down through California. It was kind of a slow pulling the fifth wheel, but man, was it beautiful and a lot of stuff to see along there, and we really enjoyed that.
Yeah, they say that's one of the prettiest roads in the country.
The Oregon coast is just gorgeous.
Yeah.
And the Washington coast is also, and it's not near as populated as the Oregon coast. Is kind of touristy now, but Washington coast still looks kind of wild, you know. I mean, it's a really rough coastline too.
Yeah.
That Oregon coast, man, all that stuff there is beautiful.
Well, I do love it. I love the mountains and the aspen and the
Yeah.
pine and all of that.
That's why we went to
Sleeping by the
Yellowstone.
stream. Beg your pardon?
That's why we went to Yellowstone.
Yeah, I made it to Yellowstone 3 times. Yeah.
Yeah. And we used to go to Rocky Mountain National Park quite a bit too.
Oh yeah, yeah. Most of my backpacking work was in a 3,000 miles worth of trail work in the West Fork of the San Juan area
Yes.
and down around Pagosa, Durango,
Mm-hmm.
Lake City, Silverton, all of
Uh-huh.
that.
Yeah. Lake City is an interesting place, isn't it?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's beautiful down there.
It was pretty tough pulling my fifth wheel over that mountain there.
Yeah.
That's a heck of a pull.
Going from Durango to Urea is a killer if you're pulling a trailer, that's for
Yeah.
sure.
It was slow go up that mountain.
Yep. Yeah, I've been over that pass with my trailer many times. And it's really something. Scares my little wife to death.
Yeah, mine didn't like that either.
Well, it sure is pretty out there. I love it and I miss it. I haven't been out there for 4 years now.
I haven't gone since my wife passed away.
When was that?
Oh, she passed away about 5 years ago, and so I haven't done any traveling.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I lost my wife in 2001
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
remarried in 2013.
Yeah. It's not any fun going by yourself.
No, it's sure not. I've traveled too many miles by myself and it's not fun at all. Listen, Ken, I'm going to go ahead and sign out of here too.
Yeah, I need to go.
It was nice talking with you.
Nice talking to you. It's kind of nice when you have a small group, you get to talk to each other.
Yep.
All
Well,
right.
you take care.
I'll see you next time.
All right, Ken. We'll see you.